one of the biggest challenges. Principal from Lakewood, who died, and he's a principal of school. He's going straight to Gan Eden, so he's barging straight into Gan Eden, and bam, the door's shut. So he asked the receptionist, "What's going on? I'm a Gan Eden type of guy." So he said, "Of course you're a Gan Eden type of guy. You belong right here in Gan Eden." But we're so sorry, we just don't have any room. So the Hachi, also Avua. In the meantime, they called Avua. He came down to reception, and he says, "Yeah, can I help you?" Chazia, he saw that his father was both crying and laughing. In other words, he told him, "I have good news and bad news." Right? Amarle, he told him, "My time of kabachis, why are you crying?" So we know the famous story with the two people who used to play baseball, right? And they decided that whoever is nifter first will come back to tell the other one if they play baseball in Shemayim. They have that sport up there as well. And of course, one of them dies. He comes back to his friend in his dream. And he says, "I have good news and bad news. The good news is that we have baseball here. It's great. The bad news is you're pitching tonight." Right? So that's what happened over here. I'm crying because you're coming. You're on your way. You're on your way. You're almost at the airport. You're in the departures lounge already. My time, achicha. So why are you laughing? What's so funny about that? So his father told him, the chashivas by hamatuva. You're very chashiv. You're held in very high regard in Olam Haba. Amalei says, "Oh really? I'm so chashiv. So let me push my weight around even before I get there." Amalei chashivda. If I'm chashiv, I command Nailuy Levi. Bring Levi into them ship to the Rukiah. Vailuy Levi, and it worked. So then he told his father, Amalei Zuzu the Yasmecha. Lamasa, I'm not ready to come to Yenavelt. First, I have to find the money. Where is the money? Amalei told him, Zil Sheklinu Amster de Rechaya. Go get it from in the base, Rashi, the Kalbinian Moshe for Rechayim. The assembly that's built as the base for the mill is called the Amas Rechayim. Sheklinu Amster de Rechaya. Welcome back. And sorry, the money that's all the way on the top and the money that's all the way on the bottom, done. That's ours. Mitzi, but the money in the middle, that's where I put the money of the Yisraelim. Only my time of the Sachi. Why did you sandwich the money of the Yisraelim in between our money? Amalei said simple. If Ganavim come, they'll take from the top dollars, from the money on top. So Ganvi, Meganva Medidon, they'll take ours. But the stuff on the bottom, the money on the bottom can get for shimmel because it comes in contact with the earth. If it gets ruined, then ira achla. It's gonna come at the bottom again. Medidon. It'll be our money. In other words, I wanted to provide as much security, as much protection for the money.
You didn't have paper money. Yeah.
No, it means coins. Yeah, it's coins.
Coins get for shimmel.
Yeah, coins get for shimmel. Yeah, sure, coins get for shimmel. Wait. Especially if it's Bitcoin. They could be preserved also. Metal gets. Alma. Okay, Alma, you see from here. The Yadi. So you see they clearly know what's going on. Right? He even told them where, Agudah Shmuel even told him where he put his money. So Dilma Shiny Shmuel, so you see, he knew that Shmuel was going to die because he told Shmuel that you're on your way there. So Dilma Shiny Shmuel, maybe Shmuel was different. They did find out about Shmuel. Kivin de Choshev, since Shmuel was very Choshev, Kadmi Machrasi, they make an announcement. Panu Mokoy make Machplatz Derevakim. So because of that, that's why it was known. So Tosfos says, the bottom Tosfos says, Alma Yadi, Bidika Amr La'agl Ka'asas, since the Gemara says that Abu Shmuel told him that you're coming quickly, you can't answer like the Gemara said later, that Doima, the Malach Doima, Kodem V'Amalu, comes and says that we have a new arrival. The Hainu Dafka La'alter, the only time Doima makes the announcement, he makes it right immediately before the neshama comes up. But the Daima wouldn't know that early. So although Avudah Shmuel was saying that Shmuel is coming, he hadn't boarded yet. He was just waiting in the departure terminal. So that the Daima would not have announced. So Dr. Moore, it could be the Noshim Chashuvim before the Nifter. There's an announcement that's made, and that's how they knew. But Lav Davka Mason no. Dr. Moore, Rabbi Yonason is the one who said that Mason don't know anything. He was actually choizer from his position. How do you know Mason talk with each other? It says, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, this is the land that I promised Avram to Yaakov Lemar, Azoitzes my Lemar, to say what? What are they supposed to say? It makes sense. The word Lemar after a tzivah of Hashem told Moshe something, and he instructed him to deliver it to Klal Yisrael. But here Hashem just told him this is the land. What is the Lemar? Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe. HaKadosh Baruch Hu instructed Moshe, Lech emor lahem Lavram liYitzchak uLiYaakov. Please go report to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and tell them that Shavuah Shadishbati Lachem, the Shavuah that I swore to them, that their children are going to get at Yisrael, Kvar Kiyamtil of Nechem. And of course, at that point, when Moshe Rabbeinu was alive, they didn't go into Eretz Yisrael yet. Right? There's a lot of Eretz Yisrael. But since it was imminent, he wanted Moshe to report to Avram that we're there in the situation.
So that's a raya that the Masons don't know what's going on.
So
or else they wouldn't have to be told.
So let's see how the Gemara clears us. Visal Kedaitach, that's a very good point. Visal Kedaitach, the Lo Yadi, if you want to claim that Masons don't know and they don't understand, Rashi says, anything more than the pain of when a worm bites into their skin, into their flesh, Ki Amalu Mahava. What benefit will there be in telling the office? They don't comprehend it anyway. They only comprehend their own pain.
No, they can comprehend it, but that doesn't mean they know what's going on in the world.
So Rashi's ain't Mavinin clue. They don't understand it. It's not on their wavelength.
They don't even get it.
The Gemara already turned back from that, right? The variance says he turned and said, I'm done with that whole idea that the Masons understand what's going on, that they know in advance what's going on. Right now we're just talking about these people amongst themselves. It sounds like.
But we're end up. The Mashal is going to ask in a minute. How do you have a raya from here? How do you have a raya from here that they don't speak? And the Moshe says, the raya from here is originally so that they don't know it's flying. As you see, they know it's flying. Even if Moshe would tell them, my hava, Ella, my diade, you're saying they know. If they know, lama leila memelu. So if they do know what's going on, why does Moshe Rabbeinu have to report to them that the Yidden are getting at Yisrael if they're aware, so they don't need Moshe Rabbeinu to report it? So tomorrow you're right, the Taka don't need it. The only reason why Rabbeinu Shalom wanted Moshe to report back to the office is lachzukele tevusa Moshe, so that the office would appreciate Moshe Rabbeinu, that Moshe was the one who helped Klal Yisrael acquire Eretz Yisrael, which was promised to Avram Yitzchak and Yaakov. Amr Bitzok, Kolam Asaper, Achri Ames. Any person who speaks bad about a mace, Ki'ilu Masaper Achri Avin. It's like he's talking about a stone. In other words, there's nothing there to insult. The mace is not. I guess he doesn't comprehend anything. It's not even impacting him at all. Ikadamri Deloyadi. There are those who learn the mace doesn't know it's flying, and therefore it has no impact.
So you can speak Lashon Hara about the mace?
If we're going to assume the Ikadamri, the Yadi, they know. The Ikadamri, they do know. But they don't care. Any that's over. Amar Papa, Chad Ishtoi Milsa Basrei de Marshmal. A gentleman, or maybe not a gentleman, Achad spoke badly after Marshmal, and you know what happened? Vinofel Koni Metalala, one of the beams of his roof fell down. Ubozo la'arnika demoiche, it smashed the container of his head. It smashed his skull. So clearly, it was a sign from Shemayim, or from above, that it wasn't the right thing to do. So the word shiny tzuvim or abonon, he didn't just speak about anybody. He spoke about Mar Shmuel. Kudish Barichu Tava Bikar. So the mess it might not mean anything to the mess if you badmouth him. But the problem is the Rebbeinu Shalom is involved here too. And if the Rebbeinu Shalom is involved, he's going to take the comma, he's going to stand up for the covet of a Tzorvim Rabbanon, and that's why you have to be careful. The Rebbeinu Shalom gets involved is a whole different story. When told me last night, there was a Balagula. Somebody asked him, "Wie lang nimmt es Sefurin? How long does it take to travel from Varsha to Kruke?" So the Balagula says, "Ob der Eibischer mischt nicht daran, I can make it in an hour." So Amr Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Kol HaMesaper Achar Mitosan Shal Talmidei Chachamim, and Rabbi Elvin spoke out. The reason why it's called Mitosan Shal Talmidei Chachamim is called Talmidei Chachamim Gam B'Misosam Kriyim Chayim. So we only say that they're lying down, they're relaxing. So the halach is Noifel B'Gehenim. He falls in the Gehenim. Shenemar, it says in the pasuk, V'amatem Al Chalkalosim, and those who bend to bad ways. Yoelichem Hashem Es Poel Le'oven. The Rebbeinu Shalom will lead those who do affairs. Shalom al Yisrael. Zokt Gemara, Afilu b'shah Shalom al Yisrael. Even when they're no longer alive, and that's referred to as Shalom al Yisrael because there's no machloikis. There's no machloikis after death. Then Yoelichem Hashem is probably oven. They're still going to go to the Gehenna. They're going to get punished when they're speaking about people who you could say on them Shalom al Yisrael. Tanavei b'Shmuel. Imra Talmud Chacham. If you see a Talmud Chacham that was over the Avera by night, Al Tahar Acharav B'Yoyim. Don't think ill about him the next day. Shema also tshuva, because maybe he did tshuva. Fact Gemara, Shema Sol Kadaitach. Maybe he did tshuva. Alavadei also tshuva. Talmud Chacham for sure did tshuva. Ahani Mili B'Dvarim Shebegufay. That only is if he did an Avera Shebeguf. Al the moment if he ripped somebody off, then you could write him off. Adam Habelamari. Relevant for God, someone who rips someone off is not a Tzorvim Rabbanon, it's not Talmud Chacham. So this only applies to regular affairs, not in the moments. So Rabbi Elvin said over a story was a Meir Permishlar. Rabbi Shlomo Kluger once went to visit Rabbi Meir Permishlan, and it was at night, and Rabbi Meir was not learning. He was not learning, and the Gemara says nights are made to learn. So Rabbi Meir Permishlan told him, if you see a Talmud Chacham that you think he's doing the way he's not learning, al tahar achrav. You know why? Shem also tshuva. Maybe what he's doing now is he's thinking in tshuva. Maybe that's what he's doing. So don't write him off as somebody who's not doing the right thing. What? Yeah. Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah, here's to talk about when you know he didn't there. So he says.
Even if you think you know, maybe you don't know.
Oh, so he says, don't be like these blinded chassidim that whatever their Rebbe does, they twist it and they'll turn themselves into a pretzel to justify that there wasn't a mitzvah. It was a mitzvah. Yeah, he smashed the guy across the mouth. It's a mitzvah. He deserved it, right? Don't let Zachan. Just say he did tshuva.
I thought Shema Tshuva means he wrote a tshuva at night, being matir with a
Beautiful. Whatever he did wrong, he with lomdus he wrote a tshuva. What he did is allowed. So don't twist yourself into a pretzel justifying things. In 24 places, Bezdin Menaden al Kvayt Harav. Bezdin puts someone in the Cherem because they violated Kvayt Harav. The Chulon and all of these Shaninu b'Mishnasenu were learned in our Mishnah. Amalei Rabbi Lozer, Heicha, where are these Mishnayos? I'd love to see where these Mishnayos are. Zokt Gemara, Amalei answered, Lechi Sishkach. I'm not going to spell it out for you. Let's see you do some work. You find them. Zokt Gemara, Novak Dok V'Ashkach. This is my three favorite words in Shas. Novak Dok V'Ashkach. He went out, he examined, and he found. Where did he go to? What did he find? So the Mesivta says, in one of the other Masechtas, I love this pshat. If you ever noticed, if you come here for Ma'ariv at 10 o'clock at the quarter to Ma'ariv, if you're at the quarter to Ma'ariv, you'll always find that there are Rebbeim from the Mesivta of Nachlas Feed are here. First time they come into the Agudah. So after Ma'ariv, as the oil filters out, you watch them. They come in here, they pull out a Masifta Gemara, they pull out an art scroll. There's even a Rebbe, if you come here after Shachris, there's even a Rebbe who holds a Masifta Gemara, and he has a paper, and he's writing notes, taking, right? So what is that? Very simple. They want to look up these things, but can you imagine they couldn't caught, if they got caught red-handed in Yeshiva, learning Masifta, they're finished. So Nafak, so the same thing in those days. In those days, the Mishnayos had just been printed, so to speak. They were written down. Until then, they're Tersh Peh, but they were forgetting. So the Mishnayos were written down, but the real Talmidei Chachamim were still expected to know those Mishnayos. For the Shvacher, for the Balabatim, they had art scroll, but the Talmidei Chachamim they had to know. So because of that, they didn't have the Mishnayos in print in the shuls, because it's the Shkapas, the Talmidei Chachamim should know by heart. So Nofak Dak, they went out to the Agudah, according to the Meir, but Ashkach, and then they found the Mishnayos. So they had to look it up, but it had to be outside. So today's art scroll is Nofak Dak Vashkach. The Masifta doesn't say it specifically about the art scroll. Eichel was zugestellt, but he said I learned. I don't know who he brought it down from, but I saw in the Masifta, that's Nofak Dak Vashkach. He went out to look because it's nishkapast that in the Besmedrash you should pull out a Mishnayos. Can you imagine the embarrassment of pulling out a Mishnayos in a Besmedrash? They should say, so he went when no one was looking, and that's when he found the Mishnayos. Oh, what even now?
Like that show.
The Magodim Chadoshim says it. Okay, he tells it to the art scroll. Okay, that's so this is the Chaloim Yisrael. That's why I love these words. Novak Dok for Ashkach. He went in, he looked in the art scroll in the Agudah after a quarter 10 Meir. For Ashkach Klas, he found 3 cases. He couldn't even find it in the art scroll. He only found 3 out of 24. And one case was Hamazalzel in Matilah Shadayim. If someone is Mazalzel in the Matilah Shadayim, V'Mesaper Achem Mitoshin Shalmidei Chachamim, and that's why it's relevant to our sugya. V'Hamekes Daita Klapi Maila, and someone who's disrespectful in an aggressive fashion, Klapi Maila. So let's get to the details. Hamesaper Achem Mitoshin Shal Talmidei Chachamim. People who speak ill about Talmidei Chachamim. Mahi, what's that case? Who is who? So the 4th line in Rashi, who is Akavya ben Mahalal and Maseches Edges. So who I am, he used to say, Ein mashkin as loyas giyaris. When it comes to being mashka soita, you're not mashka giyaris, loyas mishacheres. And I didn't have a chance to look it up. So the way I understand giyaris means a giyaris, mishacheres and mishacheres. Rashi says, loyas giyaris, the Bnei Yisrael Amar Parsha, prat la eisha sker ve'evid mishacher. So is it totally in the husband? Or is it totally in the wife? Unless Rashi is assuming that if he's a ger, he probably married a geris. I didn't have a chance to look it up, but I just found it a little unusual that Rashi says we're talking the mutus to the Eishes ger and the Eishes Evid Meshucher, but the Brisa itself that we're quoting, the Mishnah itself that we're quoting, says Ein mashkan loyas geris loyas meshucheres. They don't drink from the Mesaita. They're exempt from the Mesaita because it says Bnei Yisrael in the parsha. Maybe it's both. Mashkin, no, they have the same halacha. They're Yidden now, and they have the same halacha of Saita. V'amuloi, and they told him, so they told the Kavya, the Chacham told Kavya, Maise b'chakamis, b'karkamis, and Rashi says it's either a name of a place or it's the name of a person. Shivcha m'shecheres b'shalayim, v'hishkua, Shmai b'avtalion. Shmai and Avtalion paskin that she should drink from the Mesaita. And he told them, so you have a right from here, in fact, that they do drink Mesaita. He responded to them, Dugma Hishkuhu. And Rashi says, what's from Dugma Hishkuhu? They were also Gerim. Shmai and Naftalion were also Gerim. So if you read the Bach in Rashi, Dugma Hishkuhu, Al Shahoyu Haim Doimin Law. Since they were also like her, Gerim, so they also were illegitimate, so to speak, like they were. So that's why they wanted to be mashker, because they wanted to really prove their legitimacy. So Shmai v'Avtayim b'Bivano shel Socher. So that's a highly derogatory, passive-aggressive type of comment. So Zok Gemara v'Nadu, they put him into Cher. And he died in Cher, And when you die in cherem, the soklei bezdin is ironai, and bezdin made skill in the zorn. Right, Gemara says later they put a big rock on it. So Toysus has another shot in Dugma Hashku.
These days they put stones on Tevet. That's a good sign, isn't it?
This is during the Levaya. They're throwing stones at
It's a
it.
sign of the times. So let's see what Toysus says. Dugma Hashku Pirush Rashi. Lefisha Haisa Giyaris Kamaisam Shahayu Gerim. Chemash B'Yishami Demait Katan Mao Dugma Tekavasa. But Ba'arich Pirush Dugma means it wasn't authentic Mesaita. It was artificial Mesaita. His skua made seva. It was just water with some ink diluted in it. It wasn't really the Mayim Amorim. And they didn't erase a part from the Torah to make it like Mesaita. They did it to scare her. They did it merely to scare her. Rabbi Elvin spoke out that Shmai Vavtalion, if they were Dayanim, and one was a Nasi, one was a Bezdin, how is it possible a Ger cannot be a Bezdin or a Nasi? So he said that
Repeat the question again.
one was a Bezdin and one was a Nasi.
Yeah.
But a Ger cannot be a Bezdin or Nasi.
Who said?
Rabbi Elvin spoke out. He probably knows the Gemara Sanhedrin. That says so. It's Gemara Sanhedrin.
Really?
So he answered. He said, "It's two pshat." He said, "Some people learn that the gears in his yichus came from his mother's side, but from his father's side, they were completely Jewish." And the other one says the other pshat he spoke out was that if there's nobody on the level of them, then you waive the gear disqualification. I want to get to the end of the Gemara. At the end of the Gemara is going to ask: is it possible that a Kavi b'Mahal would speak this way and be in Cherem? So the Gemara ends up saying it's a little different, and then we'll address how that works. Zok the Gemara weiter.
Who's saying? Rashi says that this isn't real May Saita?
No, Toysus.
I'm sorry. This
From the
was-
Aruch.
So if you get and she drank this, or they threaten to make her drink it, because if she drinks and nothing happens to her, so she could be guilty, and this brings
That would
have
be
weird results.
because I'm not sure how it played out.
No.
Hopefully it worked.
She could be usher to her husband, and
She
this
probably
would
said-
make her mutter.
She probably said when she was about to drink, she says, "It wasn't me. It was her."
Yeah.
I'm not sure. V'amalahem dugma shku v'nedu umeis v'nedu v'saklu bezdin sarayna. Now mezalzel b'netilas yadayim mahi. What's the case of zilzul in netilas yadayim? That nan amar b'yudah chas v'shalom shakabe ben mahal nisnada. Can you say that a kabe ben mahal was put into cherem? She'ein azarin in elas al kol adam b'Yisrael b'chachma u'v'tahayra u'b'yiras chet kakabe ben mahal. We know on Pesach the carbon Pesach was brought by all of Klal Yisrael in 3 shifts. So they would load up the entire Azara, and then they would close the door. That means we're at the end of the shift. And if you surveyed everybody in the entire shift, you wouldn't find anybody who could measure up to a Kabib and Mahal, sign is Chachma, sign is Tahira, and sign is Yirsachet. And in all 3 shifts, meaning there's nobody in Klal Yisrael on that Madrega. Can we say about him that he would be in the Cherem? Ella esmi nidui. Who did they put in the cherem? Es Elazar ben Chanoich. They put Elazar ben Chanoich in the cherem. Misha pikbek ben Til Shadayim. Rashi says that he was arguing. He felt that the whole takana that Chazal made of the Til Shadayim was not necessary. So that's not being machabed. The chachamim that was properly. Uchshemei shalchu bezdin v'nichu even gedoyla ala roinai. L'lamdecha to teach you. So now, so you see at this point the Gemara is saying, in fact, that a Kavi Menahal didn't go into Cherem. What about his comment? That's a very disparaging comment. So if you learn it like the Aruch, then it makes a lot of sense. It was not a disparaging comment. He said they never did it. So it could be the Aruch is going in the Maskana that we're saying, in fact, that a Kavi Menahal was not put into Cherem. It's because he never said anything disparaging. Zogt Helig Gemara weiter. Hameged.
That must have been a very controversial issue, as many
sure.
Gezeres were,
For sure.
right?
At the time, you need
Because
to
think about it, because we only do Natilas Yadayim because the
Kohanim
Kohanim did it in the right.
That's right.
Kohanim did it.
That's right.
So the rest of us, had no chiyuv anyway. So before the Gzer, there's no such thing as Natilas Yadayim.
That's right. And he didn't want to accept that. He
Right.
didn't want to accept the Gzer. Yeah, it was definitely controversial.
So one sec. So when a Zar Yisrael was going to eat kachim, was going to eat a carbon.
No, we're talking about for chula. We're
Yeah,
talking about
also
because we wash, right? We wash.
Right.
We all wash before we. Why do we wash?
Why do we wash?
It's a gzera.
Because it's a gzera for
Because
when we were.
Kohanim, because Kohanim would have to wash. So because of that, they made everybody wash.
And when
So that was just a chumrah. So Allah didn't accept it.
Not when we had to eat carbon Pesach, we didn't wash.
No, of course,
We had to wash too.
But they
So
made
you-
the gzera that we have to wash every time we eat bread,
Regular
even the
chulin.
bread of chulin. That's the gzera. That's the gzera. Okay, Zok Gemara. Hamagis daitoi kapi malu. What's the case of someone who's a little bit aggressive towards the shechina? Tnan sholach lo shimon ben shedach l'chayni amago. Chayni amago is a famous Tana who they needed rain, and he stood on the ground. He made a circle around him, and he told Hashem, "I'm not leaving this circle until it rains." Hashem told me, "Don't stay in the circle."
Circular logic.
But that's how it goes. Chayni amago. You have to stay in the circle. But so what happened was, first it started to rain a little bit, and Chayim Maga says, "This you call rain, your boy."
First the rain just on him.
and he said, "We need all our boyers to be filled with water. We need all of our reservoirs filled." So then it started to mabble, started to pour. So then everyone said, "We're going to get flooded." So Chayim Maga said, there used to be a stone that people would stand on, and they had to make announcements, and they had to call it a Vedas. So he said, when the level of water gets so high that stone is getting flooded, at that point we'll stop it. So Shimon ben Shedach told Chayim Magal, "Tzorch atal is nadish." Really, you should be in chayim. And Rashi says, "Levishetriach lefnei amokim aleisik kashamim," because you sort of put a lot of pressure on the Rebbeinu Shalom the way you ask. So Zok to Gemara. If you weren't the great Chayni Amagal, Rashi says, what about you, Chayni Amagal? Sheyatza Shimcha b'gedula v'chashivas, that you're known to be great. If you weren't so great, Gozreini Alecha Nidui, I would put you into Cherem. Abu Ma'aseh. What could I possibly say? Results are results, and you delivered results. Sha'ata mischatel fnei mokim. Rashi says, Loshen Choyte v'nokal b'libo ilachti la'aviv u'la trichal tevosoi. You pressured the Rebbeinu to give you what you wanted, like a little child who's kicking up a tantrum in the supermarket, and you know what? But Hashem listens to you, and he collapses and caves in to your temper tantrum. Just like a child who creates a tantrum in the supermarket because he wants that candy, and the father does what the child wants, and you are obviously a beloved child to the Rebbeinu Shalom because he did what you wanted. And on you, the pasuk says, "Yismach avicha v'imecha." Your father and mother will be very happy with you. V'sogol yoel, and they'll rejoice those who give birth to you. So you see, the Rebbeinu Shalom views you like a child and answers your temper tantrum. Are there no other examples other than these of Mishnayos of Nidui? Well, we find the Tani Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef learned the Brisa. Toidos Ishroimi. Toidos was a powerful man who lived in Rome. Hinig es Pnei Roimi, and he feared that there should be a minig on Pesach, that people in Rome, even though there was no more Beis Hamikdash and there was no more Korban Pesach, he said that everyone should eat Pesach by night. La'achilan gediyim mukulasim b'leil psochim. Gediyim mukulas means praised, and Rashi tells us what it means is the way they cut it up is that they took the legs and arms off the animal and they put the animal on a spit by itself, and the legs and arms were roasted separately, and that was a very nice way of roasting it. And he would have them roast the Pesach like that, not the Korban Pesach. It wasn't the Korban Pesach. He had a barbecue. They roasted their meat on Leilei Pesach that way. Shalach le Shimon ben Shetach. Shimon ben Shetach sent him again. Ilmole tudas ata. If it wasn't for you being the great tudas, because Rani alecha nidu, I would put you in the cherem. Shata machel as Yisrael kachim b'chutz. So you're not literally being machel of kachim b'chutz, but it looks like kachim b'chutz. Rashi says, "Ani nami l'chvoit harav she'asu chacham masadover." The chacham said it's usher to have roasted meat. Lefishu karv lahachal as Yisrael kachim b'chutz. Sharoya savar shektishu l'shem pesach. Somebody who sees that will think that the person is actually bringing a korban pesach, and it's for that reason that why our minhag nowadays is not to have anything roasted because of this reason, because of this comment that the Shimon ben Shetach told him, but he would roast it. So that was also something where it says Guzana Lachanido. You're right, that's a good example. But b'Mishnah Seinu Karminon, what we said that there's 24 places where Bezim is not Kavod Rav, the Chulun Shanina b'Mishnah Seinu, they're all in the Mishnahs, v'ha and your example that you quoted from Tudas, in fact, was only a brisa. Are you telling me there's no such of an example in the Mishnah? I'm going to show you Mishnayos that have this. Titnan, they learned. Now we know that a kli cheres, once it becomes tomei, there is no way you can be retired. All you could do is if you break it into small pieces, now it loses its shem keli and it's no longer tomei. So a guy had a kli cheres, and it was an oven, and we would visualize an oven as a large upside down pot. And what he did is he had to break it into small pieces, but he didn't want to destroy it. So he sliced it horizontally, and he created a series of rings. So imagine you take a cup and you slice it horizontally, you'll have a series of rings that will all be a small little piece. So the oven is broken into small pieces, but you can very easily assemble it because all the pieces will fit nicely on top of each other and you could cement them together. So that was his patent as to how to be retire this oven. So you cut rings, you cut oven into rings, and then you put sand like as a cement to rejoin all of these loops, so you basically are able to rebuild your oven. Rabbi Lezer that was tar, because the fact is you broke it down into small pieces, it lost its shem keli, and it's no longer tummy. But for Chacham Matamim, the Chacham said that's still tummy, that still has its original shem keli, and it'll be tummy as before. V'zeu tanur shlachnoi. This is the tanur of a snake. Now, if you think about a snake, he curls him. A snake could put himself into a coil, so that oven almost looked like that. Mayachnoi. Where does the word achnoi come from? Not like what I just said. Rather, Amar B'Dam Shmuel melamed shekifu halachos kachnoi. That the Rabbanon protesting Rabbi Lezer's psak of tar surrounded him like a constrictor, like a boa constrictor. They surrounded him with kashas and rayas that it should not be true. The tamu, and they actually paskened that the oven is tummy. But Rabbi Eliezer was fighting back. He didn't want to accept from them. He was fighting. They took all of the things that were used in these ovens, that Rabbi Eliezer paskened on it, that it was tar, they burned to the front of him to demonstrate loud and clear that this oven is tamei, and anything that the oven was used for is tamei. And at the end, Baruch they gave him a bracha. It wasn't a bracha, it was a mishabayit. It was a mishabayit. That's what it was. It's a nice way of saying cher. Zokt Gemara, afilu hachi nidui b'masnisin loitnan ela b'chavta al b'koymes. At the end of the day, nidui, it doesn't say beferish. El b'chavta al b'koymes. Heichem mishkachas la. So where are you going to find? Since it doesn't say it, so where are these 24 places? So tomorrow, Reb Shua ben Levi, Medama Milsal Milsa. Reb Shua ben Levi, who said it's 24 places, it wasn't really referring to 24 places where somebody was actually placed into Cherem. It was 24 places where there was a tremendous resistance, and it would have been roy for someone to have been put into Cherem. And we'll see Rashi in a moment. And Rabbi Lezer says, no, we only look at the actual cases where the Mishnah explicitly states that someone was put into Cherem. Let's see Rashi. Madame Milsa Milsa, call Mokum, Sharab and Masnisin. Anytime Reb Shmuel Levi saw in the Mishnah, Shenechlak Hayachid al Arab and Machloikis Kedoila, where one Yachid was fighting the sheet of many, it was a big Machloikis, or Echad min Chachamim, Shemedaber Kasha, Keneged Gadol Imenu, or a Chacham who spoke very strongly against someone greater than him. On those cases, Aymer, he said, Royu Hayakanido, this would have been a place where a Nido might have been appropriate, and that's the 24 places, not that there's actually 24 places of Shtark and Tzlachos. It's not actually 24 places where there was actually a Nido done. So we learned in the Mishnah that the people who carry the Mita and anybody who's on shift to do so is part from Krishma. Don't start a Levaya right before his man Krishma, right before the Chiv to do Krishma. But if they did already, you don't stop him. That's all. Rabbi Yosef, Afku, Samach Krishma. Rabbi Yosef, when he was Nifter, they did start Levaya right before his man Krishma. So Adam Choshev Shani and Adam Choshev, you don't wait and you bring him to Levaya whenever he's ready. Those people who are being Isaac in Hesped, they're listening to Hesped. If the message is in front of them, then Nishmatim Echad Echad Dekorim. Then one at a time can slip out to say Krishma, but they don't just abandon the entire Hesped. But any Meis Mutal of Name, if the Meis is not there, Rashi says, for instance, Shameis Bevayis Achar, Vehemas Bit Noisekan, that's one shot. Rashi has another shot. Is the Meis is on the other side of the room, or it's not right in front of them, then Hen Yosh from the Kohen, any visitor, so to speak, any guest could say Krishma, should say Krishma, but the Oval himself, the onion himself, Yoshe V'doimim, he doesn't say Krishma, because we learned he's part of Krishma the first day. Haim Oimdim Mispal, they daven, who Oimid Umatskav all of it, and he doesn't daven, he says the Brachos Tzidukadin, V'oimer, V'boin Ha'ilama, Haber Chadashi L'fanecha, Ichagadan Asach Averis, V'loin Nefras, Mimene Echat Min Elef. All the punishments that I have, the difficulties that I have, that doesn't even pay me, does not even punish me one thousandth of what I'm really deserving of. You should close up the breaches. Take care of us. Amar Abai said, "Let me buy you." It's not appropriate for somebody to invite trouble by saying that I'm really deserving of more ownership. To Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, v'chein Tana mishmei Rabbi Yossi, lo adam al yiftach adam pivla satan. Don't help the Satan with arguments. He's pretty good on his own. He doesn't need your help in being your prosecutor. Amar Rabbi Yosef, my kara, shenemar kamat kistoim hayinu. So we said we're almost like stoim, meaning we're speaking bad upon ourselves. My ahad lunovi. What did the Navi answers? You have a good point. Shimud v'Hashem k'tzinisdoim. You said I might listen to what Hashem has to say. So you see, if you start speaking badly about yourself, it might just catch on.
Yaakov said, "Tanti mikol chasad," right?
He said, "I'm not deserving the chasad," but he didn't say I'm deserving a
I'm
bunch.
getting too much. You're giving me too much, and I'm not deserving of it.
Yeah, he said you're giving too much, but please keep on giving it anyway.
He said you
Yeah,
should call
so
it.
could be there's a difference. Could be there's a difference between someone who's mentioning
The
that he's
negative
about there.
and the positive.
Could be because because you have a very good right. Yaakov didn't say it. Can't be bad if Yaakov said it. Okay. But the Gemara tells us Shem Yigur Machet. So, but again, he's not looking for. Here he's directly referring to I'm deserving onshim. Zoktim Avaiter Kavru as Semes v'Chosru. Im Yichon lahaskol v'ligmor eskula in. What the Mishnah seems to be saying is, if they can finish, meaning if they can finish all of Krishma, only then do they start. Aval parak echad pasuk echad loy. But if they only were able to finish part of Krishma, are you suggesting that they shouldn't start? Or minu? I have a price that says otherwise. Kavros hameis, they bury the mace. V'chosru im yichayim lahaschel v'ligmar afilu parak echad a pasuk echad. That's enough to say it. So why is my Mishnah a Mashna otherwise? So tomorrow you're right. Our Mishnah don't learn your way. Hachanami kamar. Our Mishnah means to say im yichayim lahaschel v'ligmar afilu parak echad afilu pasuk echad actually yilu shura till they get to the shura of the Avelim, Yaschilu, then they should start from Lav Lo Yaschilu. Dr. Helig Gemara Vayter. I'm doing Bashura. So we were discussing the people who have the courtside seats in the Shura, they're the ones who are part of the Krishna. So now we're going to get more details on that. Tanar Rabban, Shura Haraya Pnima Ptura, the Shura that sees the inside. So I'm just thinking that there's two rows, but the rows are like 3 or 4 or 5 people thick. So the people deep. So the people facing the corridor itself that they're able to go through, they're the ones who are potter. So we learned Shura Haraya Pnima Ptura V'Shein Haraya Pnima Chayav. So Yudamer. So the Bryce is Shura Haraya Pnima, meaning not only the courtside seat, but the row right behind them where they could look in between the people's heads and also see what's going on. They're potter. But if you're 3 rows back already, where no matter how you turn, you might not be able to see. A good dogma for this is if you're very tired and the Rav is speaking, let's say Shabbos Agudah, and you don't want to see you falling asleep, you find a position where there's no direct line of sight between the Rav, so if you fall asleep already, nobody knows, and you hope nobody shifts so that they doesn't see you straight on. So that's what this is talking about. Right? Those who came because they came to attend Levi, their potter. Those who came as tourists to see this great event, chayovim. The way you could tell is sometimes they televise or they live stream big Levi's, like when I go to Levi's, like Reb Steinman's Levi, they on YouTube. You can very easily tell by the smiles who's there to be misabel because the Gadol there died, and who's there because it's a scene to watch. So they have to say Krishma. I mean, usually people that are to be misabel are saying Krishma, and the other ones aren't. If someone walks down the street and says, "Hey, your jacket, it has sharpness," so the law is pushed on. You have to take it off. Afilu b'shuk. Even if you're standing in the middle of the shuk, you must take off your clothing. As embarrassing as it might be. My time. What's the reason for it? Because it says in chachma, in tvuna, in etzel neged Hashem. When it comes to the mitzvahs, there's no chachmas. There's no justifying, explaining. There's an avera here. Get rid of it. Kol makom sheish chil Hashem. Whenever there's a chil Hashem, meaning you're going to be being over an avera, ein chol can cover the route. There's no covered cheshbonis. You have to do the mitzvahs. Mace effect tomorrow. Cover a mace, they bury the mace, and now they're coming back from the mace. And there's a kohen in the crowd. There's kaihanim here. And with a name based racham, there's 2 roads, there's 2 paths to take. Achas Torah, Achas Tameya. One's Torah, one's Tomei. Baba Tahir, if the procession went down if the Oval went down the route that's Torah, Baal Nimai, they can go with him, even the Kaihanim, which is Pashut. But Baba Tameya, if the Oval went in the path that we know is Tomei, nevertheless, Baal Nimai, Tameya, Mishum Kvoide, Al Skovet. How could you say because Al Skovet, a Kohen, to be over the Aveir becoming Tomei, Amai Lema and Chokma, and Tfuna Laneged Hashem. So to Tigam or Baba, Avada, we're not saying a Kohen can go into a place that's Vade Tomei. Rather, he can go into a base of Pras, which is only Tomei Midrabana. So what is a base of Pras? It's a Sada that a kever was buried there, and then someone plowed there. So now there could be pieces of kever anywhere. So the halacha is a coin can't go there because it'll become tummy. But if he has to go through there, we assume that there's only small little pieces of bone, the size of a barley, that are tummy, not the oil, but they're tummy if you directly touch it. So our only fear is that a coin might actually step on a bone fragment. So the halacha is minapeach adam beis pras v'oilach. He takes a leaf blower, a battery-powered leaf blower, and he blows the grass in front of him as he goes. So this way, it's a way of clearing a minefield. Because basically, if there's any small bone fragments, they'll be blown out of his path. So if he walks through it, he won't have to. So I have to correct, minapech doesn't mean a leaf blower. Minapech means he can blow with his mouth to make sure that any small pieces of bone will disappear, and then he's okay. There's a pressure in Yiddish. What if it was threshed, meaning someone stomped on the whole thing? So even if there's a bone fragment that got crushed, and now it's not even the size of a sa'ira, and therefore it won't be matam at all, it's tar. So this is all midrabanan. And when we said that you could follow an oval kovet down a path of tumah, it refers only to a soft tumah, a tumah that's to be drabanan. Only there was a kohen allowed to go al tzkav abris. Tashma damar b'laz b'tzodik. Medalgun ayinu al gabe aronis shal mason. We would jump, literally, we would jump over from Aron to Aron, l'kres Malchi Yisrael, to greet. Rashi says to greet Malchi Yisrael. So that's also called covered abrius. Veloy the Kres Malchi Yisrael Bilvad, and not only to greet Malchi Yisrael Amru, Alafilu the Kres Malchi Akum, even to greet Malchi Akum. You know why? Because there's a good value in seeing the majesty of a Malchus. You know why? Shem Yizke, if you're Zoichet Adam Abba, Yavchem be Malchi Yisrael Malchi Akum, you'll see how the covet of Klal Yisrael is so much greater.
Where are you
Again,
running? I'm gonna say you're running on the Aroinis. What they're carrying out 50 people.
I'm not sure how there's oysters. Why are there all these erroneous? I don't know. Think of how much money the Tevet guy made that day.
I think that's what I'm thinking. Right?
So Toshis gets into a whole cycle of is the top of the Oren itself could be talking.
Right.
You run through a Beis Island. And
That's
right,
the
everything
idea.
else
You're
is
running
blocked.
through it.
Yeah, to take a shortcut.
Take a shortcut on top.
So, for my mind, how could you let someone do that? Sure, this covers for the king, but Lemin Chachma Betfudim inches Neged Hashem. You're never allowed to violate an Isser of Tumah. So Tumah can Rava, Dama Rava, Var Torah, Be'etzim Deraisa, oil, Kol Sheish Bechalal Tefach, Chotz Bnei Tumah. B'Shem Bechalal Tefach, and Chotz Bnei Tumah. The halacha is that if you have an oil that's covering over the Tumah, and there's a Tefach space from the top of the mace to the underside of the oil, so there's actually airspace in there, that creates an oil that keeps the Tumah within the oil. If you're on top of the oil, you don't become tummy. So the halacha is, if there's a halal tefach, then you could walk on top of the orid because you're not going to be encountering tumah. If it's a one size fits all box and the mace is very fat, so he fills in the whole inside of the orid. So then the tumah is by kas vayla. Then someone standing on it will become tummy. But very nice. Most coffins have a chlal tefach, and I say most mason fit into the earth. Right? It's like the guy said, when I used to live in the Altenheim, I had such a big property. It took me 2 hours to drive across from one end of the property to the other end of the property. So Shred says, "Ich hab ook gehad amul azakar." The Gazru al sheyesh behen mishum she'ein behen, and it's only a gzeira that they said every orin is tamei because of those orinas where there was no pesach tefach. Mishum k'vayid malachim like Gazru b'Rabbanan, but the Rabbanan held back the gzeira al kavod malachim. Tashma gadol kavod abriya shedoiches lois sheshim Torah. Kavod abriya is so great, it's doich lois in the Torah. Amai. So the Gemara thinks it's every lois. How can you say doich lois lemein chachma vein tfuna vein etzel neg Hashem? Take Rav Shava, Rav Bar Shava Kamed of Kana. It's talking about the lav leisaser. It's a lav where it says you shouldn't deviate from anything that the Chum say. Achiche alei. They laughed at him. Lav leisaser deraisi. That's also deraisi. The Torah says you have to listen to the Chum. Amar Rav Kahana, Gaver Rabbi Amar Milser. This is a very heilig yid who said this. Rav Bar Shava. Lois achiche alei. Don't laugh. Rather, kol mili de Rabbanon. All of the halachas that the Rabbanan said rely on leisaser to sort of enforce their gzeira. But the Rabbanan didn't make their gzeira in such a case. So therefore there would not be a leisaser there. And Rashi says what we're referring to. So it's good to quickly run through the Rashi of Kal Milu D'Rabbanan. Anything that's with Rabbanan, nitchem if they cover the bris, will be daichal to cover the bris. The kari lay loisasa, mishum nechsev loisasa. If you're going to say it's deraisa, the Gemara Rabbanan achlul yakrayu. The Rabbanan were moichel on their covet, laver al devreim to allow you to be over their words. Heichadika cover abrius. When there's cover abrius, what are the examples? Going to taltal b'Shabbos avandam shal beis akisei likinuach. In those days, instead of using cottonelle, they used rocks. So you're allowed to carry toilet paper with you, because that's covered abrius. If someone stitches tore in a carmelis, so now he's not wearing tzitzis. They didn't require that he should take his talus off because now he can't wear it anymore. Rather, we let him wear it. I guess we should stop here. Okay, so we'll stop here. Good.